So then I go and say, well, how about the white brotherhood or the higher powers? That being earth, fire, water, air, for those who need to know. The higher powers. The hierarchy, or God himself. Now those are choices. The white brotherhood, having expected a contact from them for 20 plus years and not knowing for sure that I haven't been contacted, I have to let that one rest. I don't know. The white brotherhood, I don't think that I've been contacted, but I don't know that I haven't. But if I have, it's been so nebulous that it hasn't really done me any good that I see. Now, I have to let that one rest, I can't say. So I go on. Still, I suspect that they would lead me exactly where I'm going, were I able to sit down and talk to them face to face. The higher powers, or the hierarchy, they're a little busy right now, filling in the open positions. The higher powers in the hierarchy are a little busy right now filling of the open positions. What does that mean? For those that know, they know. There are some open positions in their ranks, and they're a little busy right now filling those positions, so they don't really have a whole lot of time for you. So that leaves us with God himself. That understanding is found in Book 5. But let's just say that you may have to find another path. So who or what will help, if indeed there is any help? I thought about it some more. So we've taken all these possibilities and have said that we'd had to let the white brotherhood stand because we don't know for sure, but higher powers, the hierarchy, they're busy. God, in Book 5, you'll understand why I kind of didn't think that you were going to get a whole lot of help there. Not that Father wouldn't help you, but it is your test. We're in level 4. It is your test. So I go on. I thought again about the people who would laugh at me and how they thought they were in control of their lives. How long before death or illness brought them up short with no answers? How long before their dreams crumbled in this temporal world? How long before they settled, not telling anyone for fear of being ridiculed? This is where things began to come together. They were using methods that worked somewhat and had philosophical concepts that required constant faith to patch the holes. They had no rock to hold to. They had the feather faith to cling to as they were pushed over the edge. You understand what they're saying? You understand what I'm saying? They were using methods that worked kind of. They had philosophical concepts that required constant faith to patch the holes. They didn't have anything firm to hold on to. They just had this feather called faith to cling to as they were pushed over the edge. And here again I mentioned Book 5 as being more information given in Book 5. So then I go on. They were lied to. They believed the lies until their life crashed. They then sat silent in their lives and pushed their children to succeed where they had failed. What was all this deceit? Why did I need the mirror to see my true self and the truth of who others were? Why did it seem that society was steering us into a different view of how things work than what I saw now as to be the truth? In life we are taught to gather toys, be trivia smart, make more money, stay young, snub those that are less than you, worship those that are higher than you. Don't take so much. It didn't take so much to see through that baloney. Even the church teaches us that it isn't our fault, and if it was, we may be forgiven and sin no more. My understanding indicates that it is our fault, and that everything that happens to us is a consequence of some action we have taken in this life or a past one. My understanding is that it is our fault, and that everything that happens to us is a consequence of some action we took in a past life or we've taken in this life. And again, I comment more about that in Book 5. And so I say again, there seems to be a difference between what I know and what we're being taught. Is that a coincidence or deceit? Are we being put to sleep as we slowly drift on the path to our destruction? Are all the differences I see between what I know to be the truth and what we're being taught a design? Are they a design? Are they by design? Is there a pattern? It was at this point that I began Book 3 and things changed in my life. There was an attack after attack on my life in all areas. I found the higher powers, the four in their august state of dominion. I found chaos and the hierarchy. I saw the battles and I saw the loss. I saw the Catholic Church and all its... I can't talk about that. Book 5. Can't talk about that yet. I saw the love twisted and destroyed. I saw aloneness and celibacy. I was offered power, control, dominance, hate, anger, depression, sex, and other things less mentionable. I chose none. I was given depression. Often. I had the concept of the fallen one down by now. I understood even better why the lies seemed to be planned out in careful detail. They were. And so it went. With this held hold becoming clearer, making more sense, it boiled down to a very simple thing. I wish I could have been taught this concept when I was much younger. Do you know how every time you have made a decision with moral overtones, there is no clear-cut rule to follow? In fact, the decision seems to be impossible just because of all the murkiness in the choice. Those who would do only good, even those, are lost in this murky world. You know what I mean? Those who that only wanted to do good, they can't do good because the choices are situational. Situation ethics, situational. Depends on the situation, doesn't it? It could be right here and wrong there, can it? I said, if you do good here, are you doing bad there? The experts would tell us that only they can make the proper kinds of decisions, and only after exhausting all their great knowledge and wisdom. That is, if we can afford them. But where are they when we need them? We can't carry them around our hip pocket just in case there's a critical decision to be made. Isn't there a way to get our choices back? Can't we choose our own way? Can't things be made easier? And who or what could safely help us as we struggle to make our life work? Well, there's a question. Who or what could help us? That was a true test of this work. If they, the ones that gave me this work, were bound to determine that we're being duped, then give us a clear-cut, non-murky way to choose our way out and tell us who or what it is that will help us when we need that help. They did. Blew me away. They say. Now, we're back to them, you understand. I had my say. The next chapter is our promise. And you remember what I said just before I started? They said they would answer my question about fate. I asked the question, look, if we don't know the consequences of each of our decisions, if we don't know the ins and outs and every detail of the decision, then we don't have free will. And they said, good point. Now, we're going to answer that point down the road, but first let us do this. So they did that, and now they're saying, we promised an understanding of the answer of why we're here and what it's all about. Here is the concise answer, but one that no one seems to like, including John. I didn't. They say, we discussed earlier the concept of the archangels who were in charge of maintaining order in each solar system. There's also a caretaker of each planet in the system, and this caretaker or archangel is in charge of maintaining the balance or anything to get out of hand. These archangels are extensions of Father and have no free will of their own. As we explained, they're like a toe doing what's needed to keep the toe proper and healthy, but having no free will to choose a course of action beyond their domain. We're talking about archangels now. Their definition, maybe not the church's definition, but their definition is not a soul, a mechanism to maintain order, part of Father, no free will.